The governorship candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance in Abia State, Dr. Alex Oht, says that he will rededicate the state to God when he's elected governor of the state in the forthcoming governorship election. Dr. Oht made this vow while speaking at this year's Global Mega Prayer Quake Conference in Obiozoasa in Abia State. The conference is an annual gathering organized by the Ministers' Prayers Network International. He appeals to Abia people to ensure that they plan very well in this new year so that they can achieve their dreams.
That is not cleansed will not make progress. So the first thing that we want to do when we get there is to cleanse this land, because the land has been it has suffered a lot of evil practices. It's been defiled and it needs to be cleansed. And there's this saying that when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I was encouraging people to make plans. Before they do anything, they should think through it and think about how to succeed. Think about the resources that they require to commit to what they want to do and get themselves ready, because a lot of times people just jump into things and without planning for them. And then I took it to my manifesto, which gives an indication of how prepared that I am to run the state. And I told them that I come very well prepared. I've documented all the things that I wanted to do, and before I even started the documentation, I had to use the services of consultants to go around the state and find things for themselves and then document them. So it's not hearsay, it is not from the moon or from the blues, it's something that we got based on what is on ground. And having done that, we now have to think about how to solve those problems.
In continuation of its campaign rally, the People's Democratic Party, the PDP in Oyo State, stormed the suburbs of Ogbomoso to canvass for the votes of the people. The governorship candidate, Seyi Makinde, at Ogolua and Surulere local government areas urged the residents to collect their permanent voter cards and resist all attempts by any politician to buy their votes in exchange for money.
It's a grand welcome for the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Seyi Makinde, in Ogbomoso, Oyo State. The candidate arrived at Kwatela village in continuation of his campaign. From Ogolua to Surulere and all the way down to Orire local government areas, it's the same reception as supporters gather on the streets cheering. Then the candidate began his one-on-one campaign as he stopped at stalls and shops, engaging the people on the need to vote for the PDP. As he moves around, he also meets with community leaders who make their requests known.
We are suffering from lack of electricity supply in Ogbomoso. Work began a long time ago, but stopped. And for the past 8 years, nobody has revisited it. And we all know that stable electricity supply engenders development.
Thereafter, it's time to address the teeming supporters. He tells them to resist vote buying as he promises that the PDP will establish industries in the Ogbomoso town to help the farmers convert their produce to finished products.
You can see from this environment, they are predominantly farmers. You see cocoa out there, cocoa beans being sun-dried. You have cashew around here. Part of what we want to do as a government is to add value to all those raw materials.
For other leaders of the party, PDP has a great manifesto that can cater for the needs of your people.
Seyi Makinde is ready. He has a blueprint, he has a manifesto, and he will start implementing for the betterment of the people, for the engagement of the sorry state of our youth. He will start implementing all this immediately he gets to power by his grace, May 29.
Thereafter, the campaign trail leaves Ogbomoso for other parts of the state, confident that it has been able to convince the people of Ogbomoso that the PDP is the best option come March.
Critical factors that would help reduce voter apathy amongst the Nigerian electorate include electoral processes, which are seen to be credible, and elected leaders given priority to performance post-election. Some political analysts standing on this belief have therefore called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to ensure that the conduct is devoid of irregularities, while elected public officers should place a priority on good governance. Jessica now reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, recently revealed that 84 million Nigerians are registered to vote in the February 16, 2019 general elections. The report released by INEC shows that Edo State has 2.2 million registered voters, as against Lagos with 6.5 million, the highest number, and Kano in second place with 5.4 million registered voters. This is, however, as far as statistics go. Not all registered voters turn out to cast their vote on election day, bringing to the fore the ongoing issue of voter apathy in the country. Voter turnout for the most recent general elections held in 2015, according to data from INEC, was less than 30 million from the around 67 million registered voters out of the 91.6 million voting age population. Coming closer home, recent statistics from INEC also indicate that in Edo State, just about an estimated 1.5 million have claimed their permanent voter cards out of the 2.2 million registered voters. Yet, there are some Nigerians in the state capital who have decided to stay away from the polling units come February 16.
The one I vote before, if we vote finish it, I'll give it to another person who is not winner. So I don't feel you vote for this one at all.
God, we go vote for.
What's in me? You don't go vote. Nigeria governor, now they are pocket, they do everything. Poor man for street and they're hungry.
You just vote. Anybody that is going to put, they are just there to take money. Everything is just themselves, self-centered people. So all they need to vote.
The government of the day, they are not doing good for us. We don't have any benefit from them. So there is no need of voting. If it is possible, we will be at home that particular day. Everybody will be at home. Let them vote themselves in.
Some political analysts understand why citizens would sometimes rather abandon their civic responsibilities.
The fear of rigging and then, of course, the non-performance of politically elected people could create a situation where some members of our society could decide that they are not going to participate. There is also the fear in terms of security. Because in analyzing some of the challenges of our electoral process, we find that in certain areas, lives have been lost.
The experts, however, have suggestions that could help alter the stance of possible non-voters.
If the right people are in power, I think this idea of thuggery, rigging, this idea of apathy among the electorate will be a thing of the past. So INEC, Professor Yakubu, INEC chairman, national chairman, has a date with history.
What we are ever demanding and asking those that have been entrusted with the responsibility of conducting these elections is that they must do everything to rekindle the hopes of Nigerians and trust of Nigerians that these elections that are coming up are going to be fair, they are going to be free, they are going to be transparent, and they are going to be credible.
The experts also believe that whatever the individual beliefs are at this time concerning the electoral process, paramount is national development, and this every Nigerian can contribute to, starting with electing credible leaders when the opportunity arises. Jessica Olubuse, Channels Television News.
Joining us now on the News at 10 from our Abuja studios is the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Dr. Garba Abari. I want to thank you so much indeed, Doctor, for joining us on the News at 10. Ahead of the general elections, though, it's a critical concern, voter apathy. Let's talk a little bit more about that. Are you concerned that we just may record high levels of that?
Thank you very much, Gimba. Yes, every person should be concerned about the prospects of voter apathy. Generally, I think the country has not done very badly in terms of voter turnout if you look at the global trends, which is within the ambit of 35 to 40, 45% of the total registered voters coming out to vote. Now, there is actually a direct link between the kind of leadership that emerges from our elections and the role of the voter who must see that to vote is a civic duty and a civic responsibility, and that if he stays away or if she stays away from coming out to exercise this civic responsibility, at the end of the day, we end up with the kind of leadership that we cannot hold to account. We end up with a kind of leadership that does not actually deliver, and at the end of it all, it is a nation that suffers. So much as voter apathy is something that we are all concerned about, we will just not sit down in exasperation without addressing it. It is again this background that the National Orientation Agency is embarking on this sensitization to bring out the voters. But I'd like to also say that beyond what the NOA will do is what political parties themselves must also do. Unfortunately, our political parties are not doing this. Many voters have to be sensitized, votes have to become vouched for, people must have to be made aware as to why they should vote for candidate A or for candidate B. If political parties are not doing this, then definitely it is so much actually a failure on their part, and it is civil society and the government agencies that are now doing this.
Okay,
you can see the adverse from INEC.
Let's take a. What about what you are doing, considering that INEC just released its guidelines with respect to how voters will vote on that day? 7 steps we saw in those guidelines. But what exactly is the NOA doing in regards to helping people through this process?
Thank you very much. Exactly, we are working in partnership, hand in hand with the Independent National Electoral Commission. Barely 2 days ago, I was in Owerri to start the nationwide voter sensitization on how to vote and to vote right. But this is one thing that is going to be a challenge. You will agree with me. This is the first time that we are going to have about 91 political parties coming into the electoral contest. In some states, there are as many as 70, 71, 72 political parties that are throwing up candidates for gubernatorial elections. This therefore gives you an idea of how large and how long the ballot paper will look like. Even at a time when the ballot paper used to be much smaller and slimmer, we have had incidences of people not voting correctly. So we are doing this. We have gotten a dummy of what the ballot paper will look like, and that is what the National Orientation Agency voter education campaign is actually emphasizing. For the people to know how to vote, how to handle such a very likely big ballot paper, and also how to differentiate even the political parties.
That will be a good place to let it rest. I must indeed thank you, Dr. Garba Abari, the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, for giving us your thoughts on the elections as we progress. You're watching the News at 10, reaching you live from Lagos. Let's quickly switch over to our business desk now, where Anwar Ondo is standing by to take us through.
Thanks a lot, Gimba. The federal government is targeting the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Sub-100 ranking in the year 2019. The senior special advisor to the President on Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, gave the insight at a meeting in Lagos. Dr. Duwale explains that the target is in line with the 2019 action plan recently approved by the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council. The central bank has injected $263 million and 39 million yuan into the retail secondary market intervention sales, and that's its first intervention in the sector this year. The CBN says in a statement that the US dollar-denominated allocations were for requests in the agriculture, raw materials sector, while the yuan intervention was for payment of renminbi-denominated letters of credit for agriculture as well as raw materials. Meanwhile, the governor of the central bank, Godwin Emefiele, is expected to unveil the CBN's plan for this year at the first Monetary Policy Committee meeting for 2019, which is scheduled to hold between January the 21st and the 22nd. Analysts at FSDH Research expect the December 2018 inflation rate to jump to 11.69% year-on-year, and that's coming from 11.28%, which was recorded in the month of November. This will represent a 0.41% increase between both months and highest monthly increase since November 2016. The survey attributes the expected rise in the country's inflation rate to higher price increases within the food and non-alcoholic beverages division and other non-food items due to consumers' purchases for end-of-year festivities. The National Bureau of Statistics is expected to release the inflation rate for the month of December 2018, and that will happen next week by January the 17th, ahead of the upcoming Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee meeting. That's business news for this week. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Anne Oado. It's back to you, Gimba.
Many thanks indeed, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's CAF Confederation Cup representatives, Rangers of Enugu, set to face Bantu FC of Lesotho in the playoffs' first leg. That's the sports news. Stay with us.